Welcome to the FitMoney Podcast, where we'll discuss something we all need throughout our entire life, financial literacy, but also asking the tough question, why aren't students learning it? Financial literacy is more than the math, and a behavior we'll need beyond the classroom. So we're learning how we can help students, families, and teachers build a new generation of financially fit students everywhere. On today's episode, FitMoney Executive Director Jessica Pelletier chats with Amy Pridemore, the Executive Director of the Virginia Credit Union Financial Success Center, on her work to provide financial literacy resources for her community on a college campus, and her history of empowering college athletes, not only with the tools to become financially literate, but why they should also do so.
Hi, Amy. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Hi, Jessica. So good to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. We have such a lot in common with our passion for teaching financial literacy. But what I'd love to ask you, I know you had a big move recently. Can you tell me more about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I recently accepted a position at Virginia Commonwealth University. I was born and raised in Morgantown, West Virginia, lived there my entire life, and worked formerly at West Virginia University. And so when I accepted this position, it was a huge move for myself and my family. So we recently relocated from Morgantown to Richmond, Virginia. It's about a 5-hour drive. And so we were able to find a house. We've moved all of our stuff. In the interim, from selling our house in Morgantown to moving to Richmond, we lived in an Airbnb. We lived with my parents. It was kind of a crazy situation, but we're finally settled and excited to be here for sure.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Congratulations.
Thank
It's
you.
always exciting to move and there's so many challenges. Um, I do want to take you back though, because when you and I first met, it's when you were at West Virginia and you were doing something really exciting there. And I know you're probably doing the same where you are now, but tell me about the center that you worked at West Virginia, because I was just really inspired by the work you're doing there.
Absolutely. So at West Virginia University, I was the director of the Center for Financial Literacy and Education. And West Virginia University, for those who don't know, is a land grant institution. So the mission of the university is really focused on helping improve the lives of West Virginians and people around us that interact with us. So part of the center's goals were not only to educate West Virginia University students, faculty, and staff about financial education, but also the citizens of the state of West Virginia at large. So through the center, we offered financial education programming to teachers. Through K through 12 teachers, we had a Finance University week-long event where we brought in teachers from across the state. And not only did we provide them the tools and the resources for curriculum that they could use and take back to their classrooms, but we also had a train the trainer module that, we educated them on 401ks and investments and budgeting and credit. Because again, as you know, if you don't understand a topic, you're not going to feel comfortable teaching that to your students as well. So that was always a really great success. The teachers loved coming to that each year. And that's one of the biggest things they've said. If you ever have this at VCU, we will come to you. we will travel. But that was one of our main focuses there at West Virginia University. We also did some workshops for small business owners, letting them understand how their credit scores will affect their business, their ability to get business loans. I did a workbook for a local recovery house in town, helping individuals who are recovering from addiction learn how to manage their money now that they're back on their feet a little bit. So we had a lot of community-based programs that were providing financial literacy to the community at large, as well as in addition to educating those West Virginia University students. We had a freshman course that we provided them, how do you not take on too much student debt, or how do we not go get Starbucks every day and pay $20 for an Uber every, because we don't want to take the PRT across town, and, basic money management skills. But one of my proudest moments at West Virginia University which was actually how you and I met, was through our Robinhood partnership. That Robinhood very graciously funded our student athlete financial literacy programming. And through that, we were able to become the first D1 school to require financial education for student athletes. So all freshmen and sophomores that come in on scholarship will be required to take a 1-hour pass-fail class in personal financial planning. And then we also offer some different different workshops for them where we can bring in guest speakers and just people that are really relevant to them and allow them to understand and grasp these real world skills before they get out into the real world.
That's so great. So a lot of different populations there. You mentioned K through
Absolutely.
12 teachers and student athletes and potentially some business owners. In your experience, is there kind of one common misconception among that group, or do you find that they really are unique in how you teach them financial literacy?
I think that they're all really unique. I met with somebody here at Virginia Commonwealth University the other day. She was the director of alumni relations, and we were talking about how we could better interact with our alumni after they graduate. And, you have these recent grads who are just starting to begin their careers, and how do you talk to them about health savings accounts
Mm-hmm.
and flexible spending accounts and starting up your 401k through the company. And then you've got these mid-career level individuals who's they might have all of that figured out. Maybe they have families of their own and they're wanting to buy homes. How do they budget for that? And then you've got these later career individuals who are maybe looking more at retirement and starting to think about planning for that. And it really is interesting that even when we talk about students in K through 12, we all come from such different backgrounds. The
Mm-hmm.
fundamentals are really the same, but how you approach each individual group is so different. Teaching my student athletes is a very different group than teaching my students who take my personal financial planning class as finance majors. So it's really fun to be able to learn different how to interact with different groups of individuals and what works best for them.
That's a great idea. I love the notion that your university could play a bigger role in your journey of life because, obviously at FitMoney, we believe in teaching students as early as kindergarten. And I think that's kind of the gold standard is that all of the students who come to you in Virginia would already know this, but unfortunately, we know that that's not happening. We're both, you and I, doing our best to make that happen, but until that day, but the journey presents so many different questions and opportunities to really make good financial decisions to set you up for that long journey of financial health. So I love that idea of your alumni relations kind of helping you through those many opportunities. That's so great. Why do you think that it is such a taboo subject to talk about money? Because I have to believe that is one of the reasons why the teachers, like you said, don't know, and the students don't know, and kids and all that. I do inherently believe that people still are either nervous or embarrassed to ask about it.
Absolutely. There's been a few situations, that I have friends who have made great career success and they have been able to purchase something really, that we dream about purchasing. And when they make that purchase, they're almost embarrassed to say, oh, I was able to buy X. And we shouldn't feel that way. We should be proud that we've reached that level of success. We're able to purchase whatever that thing is. But I felt it too, and then there's people on the other spectrum who, are unable to pay their bills and they're unable
Mm-hmm.
to make it work. And, how do you address those people that feel like they're never going to be able to get ahead? And how do we start making this common how do we start making this a common topic that people aren't afraid to discuss? I think that sometimes there is shame and embarrassment in how much or how little we make, and
Mm-hmm.
people don't want to disclose that information. But really, I saw something the other day that, again, I don't know how true it is, but it said the first people to be millionaires are teachers and some other group. And they said, teachers are really surprising, but it's really how you manage your money. It's not necessarily how much you make, but how well you're able to manage it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just really, again, teachers are normally very on task and they're very disciplined and they're able to, pinch pennies and put things where they need to go to be able to achieve the dreams that they want to achieve. But we need to be able to instill those, um, those skills in
Mm-hmm.
everybody as it surrounds money management.
That is such a great it's a great motivation to think that with the right financial decisions,
Hmm.
sure, wouldn't we all love to win the lottery and whatnot
Right.
and have this massive influx into our bank
Sure.
accounts, but barring that, as we know that that's a very minutia of the population, that it really is empowering to know that with some financial decisions, you really can be set up for success. One of the reasons I think it's so important to start young, because as you know, the earlier you start making that plan and budgeting and whatnot, the better. When you work with college students, which I know is kind of your day job, so to
Mhm.
speak, what do you see that they want to learn this? Do they come to you asking for this type of skill set?
Yeah, the interesting thing about West Virginia University, the difference between the two universities, is that Virginia Commonwealth University has a peer money coach program. So we have financial coaches that are students that will mentor other students that maybe aren't quite as well versed in finance. And that has been a really fantastic program because individuals come and they're able to talk to other students about how do I build my credit score? How do I pay down debt? How do I budget? And it's much more easy for them to go talk to a peer than it is
Mm-hmm,
for them to
mm-hmm,
come and talk to me. So that's been a really fantastic and successful program here at VCU. It's also very interesting to see the difference in the student populations between the two universities. The students here at VCU are working 2-3 jobs to be able to afford the semester that they have. So, they're just in a different mindset.
mm-hmm,
They're working all the time and doing studies, where a lot of students at West Virginia University maybe are in a different mindset that they don't necessarily have to work as hard as the students here. That's not to say that that's across the board by any
mm-hmm.
means, but it is really interesting to just see the diversity in the student groups and how they approach personal finance. Some students here at VCU are bringing home paychecks, and how do
Mm-hmm.
we put that best to use, and how do we pay our tuition and our rent and our food, and how do we build our credit while we're doing all of these things. So it's just been really interesting to see the diversity in the two student populations.
Yeah, we have a course, an online course, a financially fit certificate, and it allows for kind of that suggestion box question, which I think is so important at the end of the final assessment. And we were seeing it, and it's given to 8th through 12th, so it kind of early high school all the way through. And here in Massachusetts, which is where I am, you can get your working papers at age 14, and
Mhm.
we see that happening, I think, more and more than ever before, for a whole variety of reasons. I don't necessarily think it's just out of family need, but I also think
Sure.
that students are more and more entrepreneurial, and they feel empowered when they get that paycheck, and whether it's from the local grocery store or the golf center down the street. And that was a pleasant surprise when we found so many young students asking about filing taxes. And
Sure.
they wanted to learn more about that, because I think the average 14 or 15-year-old who is collecting that paycheck that has
Hmm.
Social Security and FICA, which, my favorite question ever is, who is FICA?
Sure.
Why am I paying her? Um, they just think, I'm so young, I don't have to pay taxes. But at the end of the day, actually, maybe they should, because they can probably get that money back. So it is so rewarding what I do, and I hear it in your voice, that same sense of excitement, by matching the students with a mentor. And again, what a phenomenal method, and it is exciting being able to teach something that the students themselves actually want to learn.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I know you're also a mom,
Hmm.
and I think young ones. What are the ages again?
8 and 3.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. I think as working parents, we always say, try not to bring our job home with us. But in your case, and I know mine as well, I actually do bring my work home with me, and really talk to my kids about money. Do you do the same? Do you have any experience doing that with especially your 8-year-old?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a little challenging with him, to be completely honest. He has ADHD, so his
Mhm.
brain works and thinks a little bit differently than ours does, which has really been a challenge for myself to understand. But he's one of those instant gratification kids. He
Mm.
wants something and he wants it now. And so we're really working with him on, hey, buddy, if you want something that you want that transformer, you want that Optimus Prime that costs $20, you're going to have to do work to be able to
Mhm.
save up and to get that. And I felt like we had a really big breakthrough this week. He had found something that he wanted and he needed $10, and I said, okay, well, you do so many chores, and you can earn $1 per chore, or however we ended up doing that. And towards the end of the week, when he knew he was so close, he was motivating himself to be able to go, hey, mom, what if I help you fold the laundry? Or what if I help you unload the dishwasher? And those are things that he normally would never volunteer to do by any means. But he knew he was able to set that goal and reach that goal. And then he was excited whenever he reached it. So I think that it's going to be little things like that are motivating to him. And then allowing him to understand that, that's something that we want. We need to save for
Mhm.
it, but there are also things that we need and we're able to buy at this time. So he's a work in progress, but we're getting there.
Boy, though, delayed gratification, I think that's
Sure.
probably one of the hardest and probably most important things, we can teach anyone when we're
Hmm.
teaching them about financial literacy. I mean, you can understand exactly what goes into the calculation of your credit score. But
Yep.
if you can't physically make that behavioral decision to either buy
Sure.
something or not, then it doesn't matter if you understand the calculation. So that's great. And again, kids, they learn by doing. They learn obviously by repetition. So getting that experience at 8, and then again, I'm sure at 9 and 10,
Sure.
you can be
Yeah.
sure that by the time he's whether it's Virginia or West Virginia or wherever, that he's going to be making really great decisions. Um,
Absolutely.
Now that you're in Virginia, it seems like there for a little while, is there a way that folks can support the work that you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. They can go check out the official name of our center is the Virginia Credit Union Financial Success Center at VCU. So they're more than welcome to go check out our website there. That has a link to our money spot, which houses our money coaches that they can go meet. See the bios of our coaches. They're really impressive. They're really exciting. We hold workshops throughout the year. So if anybody's interested in coming to any of those webinars that we host, and so it's just a really exciting group of students. It's really fantastic to be able to see the work that they're doing. But feel free to go and search our page and find out any information, and they can contact me directly as well.
Oh, fantastic. Well, great work that you're doing. Congratulations again on the move and
Thank you
getting
so much.
settled. It's not easy. And
No, it's
it's
not.
been a great pleasure speaking with you today. And I look forward to continuing to work together to bring financial literacy to more and more students around the country.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jessica.
Thanks, Amy.
Thank you for joining us today on the FitMoney podcast. Whether you're a caregiver, teacher, or student yourself, there's plenty of great K-12 resources to begin or continue your financial literacy journey at fitmoney.org. Visit the show notes for more from today's guests and financial literacy activities for the classroom, at home, or on the go. We'll see you next time, and until then, happy learning, earning, and saving.
The FitMoney podcast is presented by FitMoney, the leading K-12 financial literacy curriculum providing free, unbiased financial literacy resources. All opinions, products, and references during the show are not endorsed by FitMoney and are solely opinions of the individual. FitMoney does not claim any responsibility for external resources referenced during the episode. All FitMoney products and episodes are provided for educational purposes and are not professional advice.